Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of a comedy horror anthology film from 1990, and that movie is The Willies. So, two brothers and their cousin go camping and try to frighten each other by telling scary stories. There are a total of 5 scary stories, the first 3 being very short and the last 2 being quite long. So, I'm going to do what I do usually when I review anthology films, is review each segment and then add up all the ratings I gave for them, and that's going to be my rating for the film. So the film starts off with our wraparound story about the 3 boys. They're in the tent and they still tell stupid jokes, complain, so the first segment starts. The first segment is one of those urban legends that you've heard a million times about someone finding a fried rat in their food at a fast food restaurant. Or there's different versions. There's finding a fried rat, there's finding a live rat, there's finding rat intestines, there's finding a rat inside a soda can. There's so many different versions of this story that it's just ridiculous. So yeah, the woman goes to the counter, orders the food, goes to her table, takes a bite only to see that she's bitten into a whole fried rat. And that's the entire segment, really. I gave that one a 3 out of 5 because, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen that actual urban legend put to film before, so I had to give it some credit. The second segment is about a amusement park where one of the rides is so scary that an old man died on the ride. And same with the last one, I gave it 3 out of 5 because that one actually had a few cool scenes in it. A few cool parts of it where there was a scene where a zombie actually comes up to the guy and a woman gets her throat slit, which I didn't expect. I mean, it was green blood, but I didn't expect that for a PG-13 movie from the early 90s. So yeah. The third segment is that one urban legend that this is another one that everybody's always heard. It's about an old woman who's too lazy to dry off her dog after bathing him, so she puts him in a microwave. I think we all know how the story ends, and that's exactly how it ends. It's just not... It's not extremely bloody. 4 out of 5 stars for that one, because the way it happened, and, I don't know, I just really like that segment for some reason. Then we get back to the boys for a second, and before the, credits finally roll, this is 11 minutes into the movie, mind you, one of the boys says to Sean Astin, who is one of the stars in this, this isn't, he was about to tell the 4th segment, the story behind that is the 4th segment, and he's like, this isn't the one about the time you and your friends found an old pirate ship in a cave, is it? Which is funny because Sean Astin was Mikey in the Goonies. So that was a cool little kind of reference, and I really liked that. So finally, after the first 3 segments, we're 11 minutes in, and we get to the title screen and credits. Then the 4th segment begins, which is about a kid at an elementary school who gets picked on, and the janitor shows up to save him. And the janitor says a few things, when put into context in the film, are very creepy. And they give you a bad feeling about what's going to happen. So weird stuff starts to happen. People start to go missing in the school. The segment continues on with the janitor quitting and getting a new job at a new school, where a kid ends up going missing, and then the segment ends. 5 out of 5 stars. It was the best segment in the film. Genuinely a fun, good, creepy segment. And finally we get to the 5th longest and worst segment in the film, which is about a kid named Gordy Belcher, who liked to collect dead flies and steal manure from an insane farmer of the Hicksploitation persuasion. So he's a fat nerd with asthma who likes to steal from drugstores. His idiocy causes traffic accidents. No one's hurt in the traffic accidents, but he's still a prick. He's sick in the head. He likes to kill flies, take their wings off for no apparent reason, and then make dioramas with flies. Like, there's one where it's a diner, and instead of putting, like, people in there. He glues flies onto the seats and stuff. It's yeah. And while watching this, I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Because it's just like so creepy, and that's that's like one of the two positive things I can say about this segment. It's creepy, A, and B, the ending is very cool and cheesy. But it gets really boring the longer you watch it. I mean, sitting through the entire thing, I'm just like, oh, when is it gonna get good? Then the ending came up, and I'm like, oh, so it's like Takashi Miike's audition. It starts off very normal and slow, and then it eventually builds up to something good. But honestly, with a kiddie kind of horror film, I expected it to be like, kind of over the top the entire time, similar to the first 4 segments. 2 out of 5 stars for that one. As a whole, the movie is pretty good. The last segment is pretty horrible, I would have to say. The acting is okay, along with the writing. It's a pretty good, like, kiddie horror flick. I mean, this is one of those ones you show your kids to get them into scary movies. I definitely show this to my kids. It's definitely worth watching if you are interested. I can suggest this to fans of the Goosebumps TV series because it has a very Goosebumps-esque kind of feel to it. Just the way all of it's done just feels very Goosebumps-esque. And I didn't think I'd have to get the gore meter out for this one, but as it turns out, I do. So on the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders and 10 being something like Brain Dead, this movie's a 3. There's a slit throat with some green blood. You see a zombie get his arm ripped off without any blood. You see a kid that has his arms ripped off. I mean, it's a little violent, a lot more violent than I expected it to be. So the total rating for all 5 segments is 17 out of 25 total stars, which is equal to a 3.5 stars out of 5. So, yeah. It has the whole movie, especially the wraparound story, it has a very Goosebumps-esque twist ending / sequel hook to it, which I really liked. 7 out of 10 on IMDb I'm gonna give it, so it's a 3.5 out of 5. Anyway, guys, I'm Biscuit Boo 69 signing off. Peace.
You're listening to a demo for